Good afternoon, and thank you again for joining us for today's webinar, PGW and PECO Utility Rebates and Grants for Multifamily Properties. Today's presenters are Jerue, Priya Cortes, and Trish Cole. Jerue is the Manager of Energy Efficiency and Emerging Customer Programs at Philadelphia Gas Works, PGW, where he manages both market rate and low-income weatherization programs. He has been at PGW for 6 years, and prior to this role, served as an economic development planner for the Newcastle County, Delaware government. Priya Cortes is an analyst of energy efficiency and emerging customer programs at Philadelphia Gas Works, PGW, where she oversees PGW's Energy Sense rebate and grant programs. Priya is a graduate of University of Pennsylvania's Master of Environmental Studies program. Trish Cole is the Senior Energy Efficiency Program Manager for PECO's Act 129 Low-Income Energy Efficiency and Appliance Recycling programs. She began working with the utility in 2009 to help implement PECO's Smart Ideas portfolio of energy efficiency programs for residential electric customers to comply with Pennsylvania's Act 129. She also serves as Public Information Officer during emergency response operations and volunteers for various community organizations in Philadelphia. Prior to joining PECO, Trish spent 30 years with a natural gas utility where she was responsible for internal and external communications. Recently, she received Building Performances Institute's Building Sciences Principles Certificate. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today, and I'm going to turn this presentation over to Stu.
Great. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining, and thank you to the Housing Alliance for hosting us today. So we as PGW have a suite of programs to help customers and building owners conserve energy, and these are rebate and grant programs, as well as a new targeted low-income multifamily pilot program. So today we want to go over kind of what that offering of programs is, and our hope is that one of these applies to you, and that that you can go through the programs and learn how you can get rebates and grants and save energy with us. So I will be going over specifically the low-income multifamily program, and then Priya will be going over our market rate rebates and grants and programs for new construction. So first I'll be speaking about low-income multifamily efficiency program, or LIME as we call it. So going over that pilot program eligibility, project financing, and then how you can participate. And then Priya will be discussing our rebate and grant programs. And then we'll have some time for Q&A. And if you guys would like to type any questions in that question box, we can respond to them either as they come up or towards the end. So the LIME program was launched in 2017 as a pilot program. So we as PGW have had our what's called the Home Comfort program for several years, where we do weatherization in low-income single-family housing, and we had expanded this in 2017 to provide some offerings for multifamily buildings. So this program, it's designed to offer no or low-cost energy-saving retrofits to building owners of income-qualified multifamily housing. And we do that by installing high-impact, low-cost energy conservation measures and comprehensive weatherization services. And there's an important component of customer education as part of this. So we really want to be partners in this effort and help help customers conserve. So the eligibility for this program is, we look at multifamily buildings to qualify. At least 70% of the building's gas usage has to come from low-income tenants. So we define that as those who are at or below 150% the federal poverty level. And the program is first come, first serve, and subject to available funding. And we look at both individually metered and master metered buildings. And again, this is for existing buildings, so it is not a new construction program, though there is a separate new construction program offering that PGW offers. So here I have the federal poverty level table. So we ask for building owners to give us their income information, and we match it up against that table. So the work that PGW performs in this program, so we typically do a lot of the what we call low-hanging fruit. So that might be low-flow plumbing fixtures, thermostats, air sealing and insulation, and we will also evaluate the potential of heating system replacements, things like that, and more custom measures, though everything is dependent on what our energy audit finds and the recommendations and how cost effective those are. So we in some situations we may not recommend new heaters or things that are bigger ticket items if they're not found to save enough energy or to be cost effective enough. So that is all those are items that we identify in our review and give a recommendation. So the way that the kind of financing piece of it works is we will provide a list of the recommended improvements, and if the building is 100% low income, so if everyone is eligible, PGW pays 100% of those costs. So potentially if the full building is low income, that would be no cost to the building owner. If there are tenants that are above that income level, PGW pays 33% or 1/3 of those costs for those tenants that are market rate. And here's an example, and I actually identified a typo, but I will commit to when we send Housing Alliance the updated slide deck, I'll correct this. But so if it is 100% low income, PGW pays $10,000 if it was a $10,000 project. If the let's see here. And if there was, I guess, 90% usage from low-income tenants, PGW would pay $9,333, and the building owner would pay $666. So, so it's still a very substantial contribution by PGW that would require a small amount from the building owner. So the steps to participating in the program is, first, there is an application. So we ask for building owners to provide us or fill out the application, and that's just some basic info about the property. We want to check the meter, what type of natural gas is being used for what kind of appliances. Do you have any upgrades or repairs planned? What opportunities are there? So you'll fill out the application. We'll review it and identify what kind of potential it has. And then we may follow up to ask for additional information or to ask for the income information of your tenants. So after we review that and we plan to move forward with the project, we'll send an agreement that basically authorizes PGW to come on site and to perform an analysis and to perform the work. And then so we had a question: is the audit free? There is not a cost to the building owner for the audit, though PGW has to make a determination that that it is a project to move forward with. And another question that we just got is, what if the owner wants to go above PGW recommendations? That's something that we're open to. So if the audit uncovers work that that PGW may not be able to incentivize, we're open to talking about how you can best have that completed. And we recognize that every project is a custom project. So we'll talk that through with you. So after we decide to move forward, we'll present the work scope to you, and then identify what any potential cost share is, and we'll schedule the installation. And we have a third-party inspector that may perform an inspection after the work is completed, just to identify that everything was done properly. So we have contracted with the company CMC Energy Services. So they are the ones that perform the energy audit and the installations for this program. And they may sub out potential measures to an HVAC contractor if there is something that's beyond what they can do. But through this program, the work has to go through CMC Energy Services. And we did get a question about what if there, is there a certified list of contractors? So again, CMC has to do the work in this program, but in the other programs that Priya will go over, customers have a little more flexibility in what contractor they use. So here are just some examples of recent projects that were completed. So on the 5400 block of Locust Street, there were 10 multifamily buildings, kind of mid-rise type buildings, and we were able to do air sealing, program thermostats, insulation in the basements, and this was a really beneficial project. It was for wind companies, who is a larger affordable housing company. And this is a recent project at St. Elizabeth's Recovery Residence. So the work scope with this was a little more limited to air sealing and some low-flow devices that save water as well as natural gas, because their water heating source is natural gas. And that was Project Home that we worked with on this project. So, simple, we ask you to fill out the program application, and you can email us for that application, and we'll be providing our email address at the end of the presentation. But fill out the application, we'll review it, we'll ask for whatever information we need, and then, if the project is accepted, we'll go through with an audit, and then the installations. So, we encourage you guys to send your projects, and, we'll review them, and hopefully we get the chance to do some good work together. So this is specific to the low-income program, but now I'm going to pass it on to Priya, as some of the other projects that you might work on might fall into this category of rebates and grants.
Hi everyone, my name is Priya Cortes, and I'm going to present on the other rebates and grants that we offer at PGW. So just a general overview, we offer rebates and grants for residential and commercial customers. For residential customers, we have equipment rebates as well as new construction grants. And for commercial customers, we have also equipment rebates, new construction grants, but also a retrofit program. And so the time period of this is between September 1st, 2016 to August 31st of 2020. So if you have bought high efficiency equipment, in 2017, please do feel free to apply. The only thing is that for the built-in grant program, for that one, you have to come to us before work has started, since it's a retrofit program. Okay, so now I'm going to talk a little bit more in detail about our equipment rebate program. So we have residential rebates available. So for those rebates, we offer rebates for furnaces and boilers that are 94% efficient. For furnaces, you can get $500 for the first unit and $250 for additional units. And for boilers, it's $1,500 for the first unit and $800 for each additional unit. So for our commercial equipment rebates, there's a few more equipment types. We offer rebates ranging from commercial-sized boilers to food service equipment. So for example, for a gas fryer, you can get up to $1,900 if it's, in the eligibility requirements of being Energy Star. For our commercial-sized boilers, we have rebates offered in 2 tiers. As the size of the boiler increases and the efficiency increases, so does the rebate amount. So this goes up to $8,400. I do want to make a note that, for example, if a boiler is 95% efficient, it would still fall into the 90% category. And if it's, for example, 87%, it would fall into the 85% category. And so I wanted to just give a quick overview of the application process for rebates. We have started in the last about 2 years offering online applications, which I do recommend because it makes the process easier. We require that customers include a PGW bill. They have to be on the general service rate. And also when customers apply for a rebate, it should be after the equipment is installed. And we need to see an invoice showing proof of payment. Usually when customers don't include these required pieces of equipment, that's when their application gets invalid. So after a customer applies online and hits submit, we sometimes do have a verification done where a third party goes out and makes sure that the equipment is installed. And then the customer can get the rebate in the form of a check within 2 weeks after the verification. So we have a question here. It says, what if the entire building is sub-metered and the owner pays the utility bill? I'm not sure what that means.
I guess so. I think at the heart of this is the rebate goes to whoever is paying for the equipment. So in most occasions that's the building owner. So that's who we would give the incentive to. But I think where this program is agnostic to whether it's a master metered or individually metered situation. So as long as the equipment is eligible, we will pay it out.
Great, thank you, Sue. So next I'm going to talk about the commercial and multifamily and new construction grants that we offer. So our new construction programs and just our grants in general have the following requirements. The customers must be on PGW firm rates, that's the general service rate. The project for a grant must consist of comprehensive energy efficiency upgrades. So it's different than the rebate program because for the rebate program you just submit one piece of equipment, but this it would be comprehensive, so maybe insulation and also a furnace and a hot water heater. And for new construction program, the customer can submit after work has started if they want, but we do recommend before. But for the retrofit program, a customer needs to submit their application before work has started. So for the retrofit program, a customer can get up to $75,000 and the grants cover up to 33% of the incremental cost. And examples that we have seen include R19 wall insulation, low flow aerators, and 94% FUE furnaces for the type of equipment that's eligible. We do always recommend installing the 94% AFUE furnace in a retrofit building just because, let's say, for some reason the project isn't eligible for the retrofit program, then the customer can at least get the $500 for the rebate program. So an example of a retrofit project we did was with ASE. We did it for the Lehigh Park Apartments. They got $40,461 for upgrades to 2 mid-rise apartment buildings. They installed a variety of measures such as the 96% AFUE furnaces, natural gas water heaters, and low-flow aerator shower heads, as well as programmable thermostats. On our new construction program, we have it divided into the commercial and the residential. So on the commercial side, a customer can get up to $60,000 per property based on the energy model, and on the single family side, a customer can get up to $750. And for the single family side, they can also get the rebates tacked on if they have efficient heating equipment. An example of a new construction project we did was actually a few years ago. We gave out $60,000 for this affordable housing project, and examples of measures included furnaces, water heaters, insulation, and low-flow devices. And I also wanted to give a quick note that the retrofit project that I discussed, as well as this affordable housing project that happened, were actually before the LIME program started, so that's why they were in these other market rate programs. If you have any questions for Stu, myself, or Robbie, our low-income program analyst, please feel free to email us or give us a call.
Yeah, and again, the applications are online for the market rate programs that Priya did go over. For the LIME program, the low income program, you will need to email us for an application, and we can also maybe provide this to the Housing Alliance so they have them on file as well. But we encourage you guys to participate and and bring your projects to us, and we'll identify sort of what location they fit best.
Great.
And thank you guys. And I guess before we hand it off, also did want to mention that so PECO will be going next. We do coordinate on especially on the low income program. So we actually have the same contractor performing work. So I think that's one of the benefits of having both of us here on this call.
I see a few questions have come up. So for the service rate, it should be general service. I don't think HT does. It isn't compliant with the program. Does PGW complete the energy model? We can do an energy model, but it is nice when customers bring us a completed energy model. Does anyone have any other questions?
Great.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, and we'll hand it off over to Trish.
Okay, thanks very much, folks. I appreciate it. Well, thanks for including me in the webinar. And what I'm going to talk about today is the PECO Low Income Energy Efficiency Program, or as we like to refer to it as LEAP. Turn this next slide. So the LEAP program, or Low Income Energy Efficiency Program, as I mentioned, it's a free 5-year electric savings program that's actually ending May of 2021. Eligibility, just like PGW's program, is based on income at or below 150% of the federal poverty level. For instance, if there's one person in the household with an annual income of about $18,000 per year, they qualify. 2 in the home or household at $25,000, they qualify. And if there are 3 people in the household with an annual income of about $31,000, they would qualify. So our eligibility is the same with PGW's. I know there are programs out there that there is a usage requirement. This particular program does not have a usage requirement. It's strictly income. I can't say that enough because I think it's an important piece. So the goal of the program is to achieve over 5 years 108,000 megawatt hours with a budget of $36.1 million. Our plan to achieve the goal includes in-home audits with the direct install measures for both single-family properties and multifamily properties. The multifamily properties is something new for us this phase as part of the Act 129 programs. So some of the measures that are included are, of course, the efficient lighting, LED bulbs, both the general service and decorative, smart strips, air sealing, insulation, etc., heat pump maintenance. Also, we plan to provide, and we have been providing LED bulbs at community events, and also distributing energy kits and holding workshops in multifamily buildings where we will have an education session and give the tenants there a do-it-themselves energy kit so that they can install the measures. So in order to implement this program, PECO has contracted with CMC Energy Services, the same as PGW, and that's one of the reasons why we've been able to partner with PGW. With both of us having the same vendor, it's important. PGW is there as the gas customer. PECO can pay for electric measures as part of that audit, and we don't have to share any customer information because our vendor has it, and they're able to determine, which utility pays for the measures, which has been working great so far. So when we talk about, the multifamily REIT measures, first of all, I'd like to say that, this sector is a high focus for us this year. As I mentioned, it's a group of folks we hadn't provided service to, especially in the master meter properties, but in this phase it was important for us to include those types of properties and customers too. So once again, the high focus is on the multifamily properties, both individually metered as well as master metered. So if you, own or manage a multifamily property with income-eligible tenants, you could qualify for free in-unit measures such as those listed here, the smart strips, LED light bulbs, night lights, hot water pipe installation, the water measures, the low flow, faucet aerators, shower heads, Energy Star freezers, refrigerators, Energy Star bathroom fans, smart thermostats, heat pump maintenance, as well as the free common space measures such as the LED fixtures and exit signs, interior controls, and occupancy. All of this is free to the tenants and the property owner. So it's a good deal. It really is. As far as, the program results to date, where we are overall, the program is on track to meet the savings goals. We're at about 53,000 megawatt hours with a spend of about $19.4 million. We've provided, audits to 21,000 customers. We've distributed more than 10,000 kits. At community events, we've distributed more than 100,000 LED bulbs. We're about 2.5 years left, as I mentioned, on this program. And as far as the multifamily component, we've completed, about 45 large coordinated projects, which, saved about 1,600 megawatt hours, but more importantly, provided $1.3 million in free measures and services. And that's the multifamily common projects. And then again, on the individually metered, where those buildings, the customer is the customer record with PECO, treating 4,000 units, an overall 4,500 megawatt hours saved, and providing $1.6 million in free measures and services to those customers. Next slide is just a few of some of the projects or examples of projects that we've completed. For instance, Sarah Allen Senior Home, which was a 7-story mid-rise property, $165,000 in free measures, including HVAC improvements, thermostats, LED fixtures and upgrades. Another Career Towers, a 4-story mid-rise, $64,000 in free measures, including, the LED fixtures, occupancy sensors, and in-unit measures. And then there's the Coastal Towers, which was a 7-story mid-rise, where we, were able to save that building 80 megawatt hours, and with the, free measures valued at more than $66,000. So it's all good. It really is all good. If you have properties where you'd like us to take a look at, the tenants are, fall in that income range, please, I can't say it enough, reach out to us. We do have, a number of projects that we're working with, but we will love to talk more with you. So when we talk about the process, we like to make things as simple as possible. We like to, do as much as we can to have it run as smooth as possible. So there is a little graph here, but breaking it down easy, we actually, CMC works with the property manager or the owner. We, go out, conduct an evaluation or analysis of the building. Then a work scope is created based on the eligible measures in the program. We'd like to verify the eligibility of the tenants with the property manager if possible. And then we'll hold a direct install day, so to speak, for the in-unit measures. And once again, sit down and, go over some education with the tenants on maybe other ways of saving energy on their electric bill. And if they're not paying their electric bill, just, we still want them to be able to save, but trying to, give them tips on how they can do this. And then we will follow up with the other measures, mostly, the common space lighting, if there were appliances, those types of things with a subcontractor. When everything is all said and done, we will perform QC inspections on the install measures, to make sure everything was installed properly, the tenants or customers are happy, and all the work was completed to our satisfaction. So what to expect? As I mentioned, we do like to make it as simple and seamless as possible. CMC will work with the property manager or building owner if there are special circumstances that need to be addressed. We always have an on-site supervisor on location the day of the install, so that there's always a point person if there are any questions, concerns, anything that comes up. We continue to communicate with the property manager as well as the tenants. We'll typically put together a flyer and distribute to the tenants to let them know that we will be at the property on such and such a day and what we will be doing. There have been times where we've held a group education session, in the morning with coffee and donuts rather than doing the individual units. And, if that works better, we'll do that. As regarding the work, of course, our work is, the highest of quality. All of our installations, are completed by licensed contractors using our approved materials. And I did mention about the education piece, which is very important to us. And we just want to, minimize the customer impact. All this is designed to increase the comfort and reduce the inconvenience. So we want both our tenants and our customers to be, happy with the things that we've been out there to do to help them save on their electric bills. As far as the non-energy impacts, for PECO, customer satisfaction is of the utmost importance, and I believe for property managers and owners, it's the same. Happy tenants renew their leases. It's great that through these programs we're able to help customers and tenants who are, who need it the most. It's nice to be able to increase their comfort while we're lowering their electric bills. And then, a lower turnover for the properties, which is all, win-win for everyone. And then not to mention the lower operating costs. We're using the latest technology for efficient lighting, the LED bulbs, and we have not just the standard, we also have the decorative. Excuse me, I'm battling a cold here. And the free energy efficiency upgrades mean the building operators can make other building improvements. We've had property owners who have told us, because you did this in my building, I'm now able to do these other measures or things that I've been wanting to do. And of course, there's always the fewer maintenance calls, which has happened, which is a nice thing for the maintenance folks. And we can't forget about the water savings. So if there are electric water heating in the units or at the properties, we're able to install measures to help with that too. So on this slide is the PECO team, myself along with the two folks from CMC who, make this all happen, are the feet on the street, and are really the, folks who coordinate this and make this happen. And Mike is typically the person who is out there the day of the event. But please reach out to us. Feel free, at any time to call any one of us, or if you have, questions or concerns or whatnot. Some of you folks may have attended our, property manager meeting that we had a few weeks ago. We were able to get some good leads from that, and we'd like to continue the conversation.
Great.
All right,
Thank you, Trish.
I see it. Yes, I see a question here. So I have a question here. At Lehigh Park Apartments, we had all of our unit lighting changed to LED, but how could we have our exit signs changed to LED? And Felix, as long as those folks do meet the 150%, we will come out there. If you could reach out to me afterwards, my email is right there. They would qualify for those measures too, and we would like to do that.
Great. Thank you, Trish. If anybody has any more questions for Trish, Stu, or Priya, feel free to write them in the chat box in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. You can also press *7 to unmute your lines and ask your question over the phone. Again, that's *7 to unmute your line, or you can type your question into the chat box. We still have a couple of minutes for questions. And again, that's *7 to unmute your line and ask a question over the phone, or you can type in a question into the chat box in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. Well, since we don't have any more questions, I want to thank Stu, Priya, and Trish again for presenting on these great resources. And as I said in the beginning, we have recorded today's webinar, and we'll be sending today's webinar along with the PowerPoint slides out later this week. And again, thank you for all of you who attended, and thank you to Stu, Priya, and Trish.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great rest of the Wednesday, everybody.
You too. Thanks again.